and welcome back to the Hot Lap as we are looking at the Friday for Imola, or the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I probably got that wrong, but probably a quick video here because at the time of recording it's 1:30 in the morning that I finally finished work. So I want to have a look at our first practice session before we get into the Max Angry. And yes, he was, and he did a move that was unbecoming. I was a bit surprised with Max. Didn't really expect it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I still want to talk about it. But before that, let's get into practice one, where surprisingly, the Ferrari upgrades potentially worked. It was, let me zoom in even more, so you can see it was Charles Leclerc fastest, and a 10th down with George Russell. Then it was Carlos Sainz, and then Sergio Perez faster than Max Verstappen in 3rd and 4th, separated by what, just a quarter of a second. Then it was Tsunoda, and he showed really well in practice number 2. Hamilton 5th, a good, over 4/10ths down. And then it was Norris and Piastri, kind of disappointing, 6/10th and 8/10th down respectively. Alonso in 10th, again just shy of 9/10ths down. And then it was Gasly, Stroll, Ricciardo, 1.1 seconds off the pace, and we're looking at like nearly 7/8 off Tsunoda's pace. Ocon, Behrman, it was Ollie Behrman's going the Haas, who finished 15th. I think it was fairly solid. Bottas 16th, Zhou 17th, and then Sargent 18th. Albon, the re-signed, Albon, and Hulkenberg in last. So Hulkenberg, I think, having 4 seconds down compared to Ollie Behrman, 1.6. Yeah, something was very much awry there. And if Red Bull thought they were going to have a slightly better time in practice too, it wasn't going to happen. Once again, it was Leclerc fastest. Now you got to start to wonder, is he favourite for the race? Piastri in 2nd, this time just shy of 2/10ths off. Then it was Tsunoda in 3rd, just shy of 4/10ths off. I mean, Tsunoda in 3rd. Then Hamilton just shy of 4/10ths off, and Russell just over 4/10ths off. So Mercedes not looking too bad, but as we know, it is Mercedes. It can all go horribly wrong come Saturday. Carlos Sainz half a second off at Charles Leclerc, and he kind of like Verstappen had a messy run. And to be fair, so did Hamilton. So it was Verstappen in 7th, over half a second down. So whatever you think of Red Bull and the new upgrades, this was their worst session they've had this year. Their worst session they've had arguably maybe since Singapore 2023. 8th was Perez, 6/10ths down. And then Hulkenberg and Alonso nearly a second down. And then finishing out the top 10, we had Ricciardo in 11th, Norris in 12th. Now, to be fair to Norris, though, he was on a good lap and he kind of messed it up in the last sector. I think it was 2 purples. It was 13th in Stroll, 14th Ocon, 15th Gasly, Bottas 16th, Magnussen 17th, and 18th Albon, 19th Zhou, and Sargent 20th, but all within 2 seconds of each other. So not too bad, really. Yes, but what happened to Max Verstappen? Well, he had a stand-in race engineer by Tom Hart. His normal one wasn't there. But even Planet F1 said his ears would have been ringing because Max Verstappen's FP1 and FP2 were not very good. He had issues through Aquamillerani, and after going off in the gravel, was seen shaking his head in rage. Now, speaking after the session, though, Verstappen expressed his frustration at being unable to find the right balance. He basically said, a difficult day, just difficult to get a good balance, and just not really feeling comfortable in the car. He went on to saying he was moving around a lot. It's very easy to lose the car, and a few things that we have to look at because today it's not comfortable. Also, the long run, he said, was really bad. So definitely a few things that we have to improve if we want to be competitive tomorrow. As for the running on Saturday, the only positive Verstappen could find was it can't be worse than what we had today. He said, we'll look at a few things that we can do better for tomorrow, but it looks a bit like the others took a bit of a step forward, and from our side, just a bad day. Okay, so not particularly great for Max Verstappen. Looking good for Ferrari. Looking solid as well for McLaren. Potentially positive for Mercedes, but it's it's that one caveat, isn't it? Is the one caveat of what's going to happen with Mercedes come the race, because their tyres, it would seem, are so much on a knife edge. And obviously Max and Lewis had a bit of a, let's just say, they had a bit of a to-do in practice, didn't they? Sadly. So let's have a look here. So here is, let me just not move it there. Okay, so here's Max, and as you can see there, the car ahead of him is Lewis Hamilton. This is the first sector. Lewis Hamilton gets in his way. Yeah, I mean, at that point, maybe bad communication. Maybe he should have pulled over a bit sooner. And obviously, he's very upset. He's shaking his fist. You know, he's ruined the lap. Fair enough. You know, he's quite upset. But when you look at it from Lewis's point of view, I mean, this is, you know, I mean, these are two champions. Lewis absolutely arguably shouldn't have been there. His team should have been better communication. Maybe he should have got out of the way sooner. So initially, Lewis absolutely to blame. But here comes your world champion. And then he kind of almost, but not quite, does a Vettel in Baku when Vettel went to hit him. Obviously, Max doesn't hit him this time. But I still think, what the hell? There we go, look. I mean, what the heck is he doing? And then he slows down and Lewis, you know, quite rightly says sorry. But it's just that swerve there. I mean, why? What? I mean, why? Why, Max? Again, we'll see it. Look, way. I mean, why? I don't understand. I know he's obviously angry and he gets frustrated. But this is old Max from, you know, 2021 and previous, not the cool, calm, collected guy. I expect a bit better from you, Max. I mean, come on. I know Lewis held you up, and I appreciate it. It's a very frustrating session, but that is not what you expect from a, you know, a nearly four-time world champion. I think more... Excuse me. I don't know what my drink's got now. I think more should have been made of that, if I'm honest. Anyway, before I completely start coughing, subscribe if you can. Excuse me. We'll be back for the qualifying and to talk about qualifying. Speak to you soon. Excuse me.